Democratic Congressman from Maryland, Glenn Ivey, a member of the House Homeland Security Committee, the committee that is going forward with the potential impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas, joins us live. Congressman, thanks for being with us here on the Hill. Your response to Tommy Tuberville would be what?
I mean, it's almost hard to know where to start with what he just said. I mean, House Republicans aren't even alleging that anybody in the Biden administration should be locked up or there are any kind of criminal violations or anything like that. So I don't know where he's getting his information from, but he's totally misinformed. With respect to the hearing that's actually taking place here, I think the point that we've been making is that nobody's talking about high crimes and misdemeanors. Nobody's talking about bribery or treason. Nobody's talking about the actual constitutional standard that's supposed to govern an impeachment proceeding. And that's because they don't have the law or the facts to back it up. So that's one of the things I've been trying to emphasize in the hearing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
One of the things I've been trying to emphasize is that the Supreme Court, this is the Trump Supreme Court, in an 8-1 decision in United States v. Texas, is basically contradicting the basis of all of these articles of impeachment. What they're saying is that they have prosecutorial discretion. And so when the articles come in and say that they have been willfully violating these laws because they're not enforcing them, the Supreme Court says, look, they don't have the resources to enforce all of them, and nobody has in the past 27 years, which is why Mike Chertoff came in and said they shouldn't impeach Mayorkas either. So you can't do it on those grounds, but they're still going to go forward anyway.
Congressman, President Biden is famous for saying the following. My father had an expression, don't tell me what you value, show me your budget, and I'll tell you what you value. So we went back and looked at the budgets, Congressman. Fiscal year 2022, there is not a single reference of the southern border in President Biden's budget. In 2023, the southern border was referenced in just a few paragraphs. And then in the budget in 2024, the administration started to take it on. Wasn't it a mistake, Congressman, if that's what you value, the budget, it shows what you value, wasn't it a mistake for the president not to address the budget earlier, the border rather earlier?
Yeah, I thought that actually the funding was coming through. I don't know if he sent it in his budget or not, but with respect to the appropriations process, we just went through an argument actually where you guys were saying in the room that they were trying to increase it. And I do remember in the markup we just had a few months ago that it was the Democrats pushing to increase the numbers so we could pay for things like more border patrol, more judges and the like. And it's definitely in the current budget that the Biden administration submitted.
No one's arguing that Democrats, Congressman, and the president didn't take this issue seriously within the last 6 months to a year or so, but it was in the budget. The president, there was no mention of it when he took over at the White House.
No, you make it sound like there was no funding for the Homeland Security Department, which is not true. And it's definitely true that there was, according to the Republicans on the committee, there was in fact, some of them are saying it's not even a budgetary problem, it's just a policy issue, which I think is completely wrong. But we have to do more funding to get more Border Patrol agents, more judges to hear these cases. Some of the things we were talking about in the markup from last year, H.R. 2. We need drones to counteract the drones that the cartels have. We need all sorts of things like that, the scanners that they use for the trucks that are coming through. We had one when I went to the border. We have 6 portals that needed them, and they were working effectively. Okay. We need to get the funding for those kinds of things, and we were calling for that last year. So I'm not clear on what you're saying there. And my recollection is that the Homeland Security supported those calls.
No one's doubting, obviously, that they weren't
when we met with them.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not saying that they weren't funding DHS. The point that I'm making is that it was barely mentioned in the border, and the administration just started to ramp it up. But let me ask you, Alejandro Mayorkas, if President Biden wins a second term, as you hope he does, should he be the head of the Department of Homeland Security?
I mean, you know, that's up to the president. I'm not going to start picking or not picking his cabinet. And let's get through the election first. But I think the main point, though, is this. This is an impeachment proceeding. They're talking about removing him now based only on policy issues. And by the way, everything that all the people on the show have said so far, including the senator, only policy disputes. Nothing about treason, bribery, high crimes, or misdemeanors, the actual constitutional standard that's supposed to be the basis for exercising that grave constitutional authority of impeaching someone from office. And it's been the same in the hearing room.
Congressman, got to leave it there. You're on this show quite frequently, and we'll talk to you again soon. Congressman Glenn Ivey, Democrat from the state of Maryland. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.